Hi everyone, this is Dolapo. I am here to present Desouza's textbook, Chapter 3, titled Idea Generation and Mobilization. And this particular presentation is going to be the part one, as I present another part much later after this presentation. And this part one is titled Idea Generation. Let's define idea generation. Idea generation is the process of creating, developing, and communicating abstract, concrete, or visual ideas aimed at focusing on producing possible solutions to perceived or actual problems and opportunities. The entrepreneurial process within each organization begins with idea generation. And this is because part of the innovation strategy is to develop new products, solutions, or business models that is able to move the organization growth strategies forward. However, it's important that a supportive environment is essential for entrepreneurship to thrive. And this is why idea generation is actually important. However, to generate high quality ideas can be challenging be, because of the tendency for businesses to stick to old habits. It is therefore essential that there's an emphasis on the need for a systematic process and a heightened awareness to foster new idea generation within the business situation. So, how do we foster idea generation in a business? Basically, it's dependent on the environment. And within the Souza's textbook, two kinds of environments are highlighted. The first one is the environment of need, the second one is the environment of play. EON focuses on specific challenges within structured goals, while EOP, as I tagged it, fosters creativity, risk taking, and thinking outside the box. However, it's important to know that successful organizations strike a balance between both approaches. An example of organizations who do this include Alcatel and Google, who has a culture of experimentation. There are two types of environment emphasized in the text. The first one is the environment of need and the environment of play. Environment of need basically addresses specific problems urgently. Samsung is a typical example of a company that generates ideas within environment of need. However, it's important that organizations recognize both environments of need and play to know which one to adopt. Um, on the other hand, the environment of play aims to generate radical game changing ideas, encourages creativity, includes external people like the customers and partners, and is able to function, in a way that it gives freedom to think and to prototype. And the benefits is basically increased creativity, innovation, improved collaboration, and reduce stress in the business. So, how do we create the right environment? What are the benefits of creating the right environment? The first one is that it helps creative thinking. Employees can think freely without daily constraints. There's a freedom to experiment, sketch ideas, create prototypes. It also You can also embed partners and customers to enrich the dialogue. And the goal of the process is to share experiences, find discoveries. So, organizing brainstorming sessions and offsite meetings are examples of how you can, create the right environment. Also, it fosters idea generation and innovation by creating a relaxed atmosphere. Employees are encouraged to explore, prototype, and also role play. So, what can organizations do to facilitate idea generation? One of the things, as highlighted in the Suter's textbook, is that by creating virtual worlds and multiplayer online role playing games, are examples of how to create playful environments for idea generation and mobilization. So, one way is to offer you know, um, a mix of formats by which you can use semi-structured approaches to idea generation, which basically provides a variety of interactions, includes non-work activities, and allows sufficient time for brainstorming. And one way the semi-structured approach is to focus on the big picture that guides the day's discussion. One of the ways is you also help employees adopt a customer-centered perspective when generating ideas. Another way is to organize competitions, which is called the prize-centered approach to promote idea generation. A mix, regardless of whichever one the organization decides to adopt, is usually advisable to take an approach, a mixed approach that helps to find the best fit for the organization as they begin to build a system of entrepreneurship through innovation for the organization. So, one of the effective idea ways to generate ideas and also mobilize it is by identifying customers or focus areas. This helps to reduce noise in the innovation process, and also appointing key personnel to manage the idea generation process is also something that is recommended, because that way there is a structure to the whole to the whole system. And so this also leads to facilitating peer-to-peer discussion. Another way is you can also publish problems for employees to input. So you create a forum where those problems are published, and then employees can input what they think are the solutions. There's also, it can also be effective to encourage movement and physical activities to stimulate the creativity of your employees. So there are so many ways, but these are the highlighted ways within Desouza's recommendation in the text. Other ways by which organizations can facilitate idea generation, as earlier stated, would include publishing specific problems of interest to employees and actively seeking the ideas on those problems. Secondly, one can organize competitions to promote idea generation, which focuses on the prize-centered approach to idea generation. The organization can also provide employees with training on how to generate ideas, because many employees do not have the idea of how they're going to generate their ideas. And it's also good to create a culture that encourages risk taking and experimentation, and also eventually celebrate the successes and learn from the failures of, of your employees even as they go through this process. Another effective way to facilitate idea generation is by cross-domain collaborations. This way, it's by pursuing certain ideas and fostering innovation within the organization through cross collaborations or within departments or units within the system. It's also essential that to have accessible contacts for each focus or area to ensure effective idea generation. A third effective way is also through clear communication of focus areas to employees at all levels and functional divisions, to show them how important and critical the idea generation is for the organization. The fourth type is by creating archetypes to guide idea contributions. This way, organizations are able to open the ideas and create predefined categories, profiles that employees are able to follow in creating as a prototype or as a format for creating those ideas. A final way, effective way is also to maintain flexibility for other ideas. That means, there's an established, predefined process for submitting ideas. It can include clear channels and guidelines that ensures that employees have a structured way to contribute their innovative ideas to the system. What are some of the key elements that we find in effective idea generation? One of it is that ideas need to be submitted outside specific focus areas. This can occasionally be game changing. It's transformational for the organization, in terms of competitive landscape and strategic positioning. Another way is to have what we call the good problem statements that should be clear, concise, and specific. Usually, with problem statements, there is a need for it to be relevant to the organization's goals and objectives. And when publicizing problem statements, it's essential that to use clear and concise language. The statement should be easy to understand and actionable. And a fourth approach is by targeting a strategic approach to targeting communication. This can help organizations maximize engagement and participation. They're able, by tailoring their communication and problem statements to specific audiences or archetypes that have been predefined so that the right people are able to hear the message, and they can structure their idea generation to suit the audience that are being targeted. Also, mapping potential audiences has a way of helping organizations categorize and distribute the problems effectively. And this problem tagging aids in categorization, allowing employees to search for problems based on the areas of interest that they have. Another way to also, you know, facilitate idea generation is through the price-centered idea generation approach, which is a practical way to engage customers and stakeholders in contributing to the problem areas in order to focus on the angle of idea generation that needs to be focused on within the organization. The next couple of slides seeks to speak to the three different approaches to idea generation: the customer centered, the problem centered, and the price centered idea generation. The customer centered approach simply focuses on the customer and these customers can be found within, whether within or outside of the organization. However, it's important to regularly update the organization's focus areas in order to be able to adapt to changing customer conditions. The next approach is a price-centered approach to idea generation. And the benefits of this approach is it can help to create a sense of urgency and excitement around innovation. It helps to build the organization's culture of innovation, and it tends to reward employees for their ideas, as the name goes. So some of the tips for generating ideas in this type approach is to identify clear focus areas for idea generation. You are engaging the customers from various angles, internal and external. You're appointing key personnel to manage the idea generation process, and you're facilitating the exchange and transfer of ideas among different focus areas. Desouza highlights 5 types of price-centered approach. There's the exposition price-centered approach, which highlights good ideas on a specific problem. The participation price encourages employees to work together. The market stimulation price creates groundbreaking market ideas. And the point solution price, first to reach a minimally acceptable solution, while the recognition and exemplar prizes celebrate advancement and commendable behavior. And one company that has done this effectively is Netflix, that has established significant prizes for algorithm advancements within. The problem-centered approach basically starts by publishing problems that for the focused ideas to the team members. And then the team members are able to properly define these ideas with different statements, and then go into the creative process by selecting from the pool of problems, and then between the problem pool they then arrive at an acceptable problem set and undertake problem solving efforts before they finally choose the acceptable solution and prepare a concept statement. Finally, when it comes to idea generation, it's always good to engage external constituents. And this means involving customers, your business partners, and basically all those people who are stakeholders and can help you move the idea generation process to a place where it becomes more robust and well run. And here are my references. I look forward to receiving your feedback. Thank you for watching.